Hello everyone, my name is Agent Paul of Mobile Task Force Delta 7, codename Bookkeepers, and welcome back to their SCP document review. And the SCP we'll be reviewing today is SCP-5701, Disruption Class of LAM, Risk Class Notice, Containment Class, Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-5701 is stored in a standard containment locker at Storage Site 23. All authorized SCP-5701 numbered instances are held in the neighboring filing cabinet. POI-3 Confiscate and Artist Tools are held in Research Site 174. After Ethics Committee ruling ECR 9502-5701, all remaining 5701 instances containing Foundation staff members as subjects have been incinerated, and testing with 5701 has been suspended indefinitely. Description: SCP-5701 is superficially similar to a Polaroid Sun 600 LMS instant camera built by Matthew Tebble, Person of Interest 5701-3. SCP-5701 functions in the exact same manner as other identical models, except for the fact that it prints out 5701 numbered instances instead of normal photos. 5701-number are photographs created by 5701. If a human subject is photographed by the SCP, the next time the subject performs an action they regret or considers to be a mistake, or shows regret about a previous action of the same nature, the numbered instance in which they were photographed will be altered to depict the subject performing that action. Additional details of this phenomenon can be seen below. If multiple 5701 numbered instances are taken of a subject and said instances are activated, only the earliest created instance will be affected. The other instances will be activated by other instances in the future as normal. If there are multiple subjects photographed within a single numbered instance, the first one to trigger the effects edits the numbered instance as normal. The other subjects are ignored. And here we have some experiment logs. Level 1. Test A. Date 3/17/2005. Forward. The function of 5701 has already been crudely depicted by a Person of Interest -1. The following tests were made to confirm his description. Subject: D-Class 5152. Procedure: Junior Researcher Mason was ordered to use the SCP to create a numbered instance with the D-Class as the subject. Then shake the D-Class's hand with the joy buzzer. The mistake. Results: the SCP printed -1. The D-Class initially showed hostility towards Mason, but calmed down after being informed of -1, which depicted recoiling from Mason's joy buzzer. Analysis: after additional tests redacted for brevity, -1's description of SCP-5701 was confirmed to be accurate. Testing with staff subjects has been approved. Test B. 3/19/2005. Forward. Subject has been registered for testing to train anomalous object handling in the event of an emergency. After all official paperwork has been filled out, testing was approved. Subject: Kyle Hart, Site 23 Custodian. Procedure: Kyle Hart was ordered to use the SCP to generate an instance for himself. The next day, SCP-5701-11 has been observed to now depict Kyle walking away from Site 23. His keychain was noticeably missing. When asked about the contents of -11, Kyle confessed that after realizing he had forgotten his keys at home, he decided to return home without cleaning his section of the site. He was later reprimanded for his actions. Test C. 3/20/2005. Forward. Testing was requested by Senior Researcher Lance for Dr. Hendrick as part of his mandatory clearance Level 2 training, and later approved due to the initially presumed harmlessness of 5701. Subject: Dr. Hendrick. Procedure: SR Lance used 5701 to create -13 with Dr. Hendrick as the subject. Lance was then asked to inform Site 23 Director as soon as -13 changed. Results: 2 hours after testing, -13 changed to depict Dr. Hendrick falling down a flight of stairs between floor 2 and 3 of Site 23. Dr. Albro was also depicted in the picture, with an expression of surprise on her face, being the first instance of a non-subject person appearing in an SCP-5701-numbered instance. Analysis: when asked about Dr. Albro and her possible involvement with -13, Dr. Hendrick attempted to cite that feeling of defeat when you expletive up while someone that you're fond of was watching. Credentials accepted. SCP-5701 Experiment Logs, Level 2. Test D. 3/19/2005. Forward. Dr. Marley was asked in advance if he would be willing to comply with testing, which he later agreed to after being informed of its presumed harmlessness. Subject: Dr. Marley. Procedure: Dr. Marley was asked to use 5701 to create a numbered instance of himself. Results. 21 days later, -12 instance depicted a scene of Dr. Marley performing a heart surgery on an unidentifiable patient, later confirmed as Dr. Myers was visible in the background of the scene. Dr. Marley had an expression commonly associated with shock on his face, and his scalpel was free-falling above said patient. When asked about the contents of -12, Dr. Marley confessed that after the event depicted, his scalpel sliced an artery in the patient, leading to significant blood loss, which put the patient in critical condition for approximately 7 minutes. Dr. Marley and his assistant were demoted to junior medical staff. Analysis not available. Notes. You damn sons of guns lied to me. You told me that this camera wouldn't even hurt me. Well, then it goes on to hurt, if not shred apart, my career. Next thing you know, the whole godforsaken foundation's getting spied on. Stop doing this to people now. Dr. Marley, 3/31/2005, from an interview on the same day as his confrontation. Test E, 3/31/2005. Forward, MTFU Epsilon 11-59 was asked in advance if he would be willing to comply. He later agreed, being informed of its known harmlessness. Subject, 11-59. Procedure. He was asked to use the SCP to generate a numbered instance of himself. Results, 10 seconds later, setting the record for least time between creation and activation. -16 depicted the subject firing a standard issue pistol at 11-57, who was killed in action on recontainment mission number 462 on 6/9/1992. When asked about it, 1159 initially denied the incident, but later admitted that he committed fratricide during the mission for fear that 1157 was infected with SCP-008, also known as the zombie virus. Then convicted Overwatch to expunge the incident after a diagnostic confirmed that 1157 was perfectly healthy. At this point in the interview, 1159 had an emotional breakdown and was unable to continue with questioning. 1159 was granted amnesty due to the fact that his actions were required by emergency protocol pertaining to anomalous diseases. Analysis not available. Notes. It's clear that after tested logs D and E, testing needs to be ceased immediately and permanently, due to the risk of site directors using 5701 for excessive surveillance or worse yet, blackmail, as well as the emotional damage that subjects consistently receive after being confronted by information on the respective numbered instance. We, the Ethics Committee as a whole, unanimously vote to indefinitely suspend testing with SCP-5701, as well as incinerate any numbered instances involving Foundation staff members. I also, as a personal request, ask that any staff member not confront any of these individuals with any of the information in any of the testing logs. We may have allowed worse things, but no more testing is needed, and it clearly causes a level of emotional damage to the subjects, so we are willing to suspend it. We do what we can because we must. Gina Reagan, Speaker for the Ethics Committee, 4/2/2005. Credentials accepted. 5701 Recovery and Interview Logs. Recovery Report RR-5701. Personnel involved. MTFU Epsilon 6 Village Idiots. 13, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. Dr. Mason and Dr. Dawkins. Begin log. Luke Spencer, POI-1, contacted a Foundation shell company disguised as a therapist for therapy sessions and was later given an appointment at 2/19/2005 with Epsilon 6-13. POI-1 arrives on time for his appointment. Possessions included $90 cash to pay for the therapy session, a map of the local area, and a phone. He begins his appointment and informs of SCP-5701 and Connor Miller, POI-2. See below for full interview. So, what's been on your mind? It's a school bully, but, well, he's more than that. Like, a lot more. Almost freaking psychic. Basically, look, I don't know how to describe it, but he's breaking physics. If you know what I mean, he's not normal. And he's hurt everyone else I've gotten help from, too. Just to ruin everything for me. No reason. Please, help. I'm hoping I understand. Go on. So here's the thing. He's somehow getting these really personal photos of me and posting them on the school billboard. They're always me making some really stupid mistakes, like forgetting a backpack or something like that. Here's where it gets crazy. Half of them are literally impossible. Like, I'm home alone, I drop and break a dish, and he has a photo of me right inside the same room. It's just, look, does any of this sound easy to you? -13 briefly pauses. Well, let's see what I can do to help. He begins an anomaly report. Redacted for brevity. Resume 14 minutes later. And by the way, you said it was a camera, not the kid? I think so. He takes these photos of me, and the next time I do something embarrassing, he already has a photo of it. I have no idea how it's happening, but I just know he's got something up his sleeve. Thank you for your time. Do you think you can call your parents? Look, can we just... Remember I said about hurting everyone else who has helped? Please don't get them into this. They won't be involved with him. They'll be fine. -1 considers for a while, then replies, Fine, I'll call them. Thank you. -1 leaves the room to contact his parents. MTF Epsilon 6-13 uses his Emergency Foundation contact and requests help with the following. We have a safe LAM notice anomaly, believed to be a Polaroid instant camera, medium public exposure, location. Do you think you can help? And sublog. When informed that his parents would need to be notified before he was moved into Foundation custody for more extensive therapy sessions, -1 eventually used his phone to inform his parents of the appointment. They eventually drove over to the office and approved transfer 7 minutes after arrival. 2/20/2005. Epsilon 6-30 contacted high school in person. Apparently, -1 managed to blackmail every single teacher in the school with SCP-5701, so we'll have to correct him for everyone. We might be able to keep others safe from this megalomaniac if we do it right. 6-30. -2 was put under Foundation custody with minimal suspicion by MTFU -30, -31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, and 37. The following interview was conducted at Protected Site 67. Interviewed -2. Interviewer Dr. Mason. I'm just gonna say it. I've gotten every single teacher's darkest secret, and you just let everyone in the world see them. Poor choice. We confiscated those photos. Well, there goes my only backup. That is true. So, knowing you will have to work with us, who will do whatever it takes to know what's going on, what happened? -2 hesitates. You heard us. Fine, I bullied someone with a camera. Is that enough? Just let me go. You knew what the camera could do, right? Yeah, take pictures, duh. You know what I meant. Fine, it changes photos, so it shows people messing things up. Is that enough? Where'd you get it from? I'll never tell you. Dr. Mason stands from his chair, leans towards -2, and slams his fist on the table. It was a friend. What do you want? He returns to his chair. Well, thank you for finally answering. Could you tell us more about him? His name is Matthew, only one at my school. Same grade as me. Is that enough? Thanks. Do you know why he gave you it? This'll take a while. So you know Luke, the kid that snitched me? Well, he's actually been bullying me like anyone else. Now one day I say enough's enough, and ask my bud for some help. Get some sweet revenge, so he asks how I want to get it. I tell him the same way I got it. So he goes home, and a few days later, he has this weird camera I've never seen before. He tells me it's an instant camera, shows me how it works, and gets the good part, turning into mistakes. Be nice with the camera. Isn't even the point of all this. What did he say exactly? So you're gonna use the camera, post the pictures, have your laughs, get him off your back, and you'll leave him and the camera alone. Like, that'll stop him. I need to make sure he would never do it again. So that's what I did. The teachers found out soon that it was me, of course. So I had to keep them quiet with some good old blackmail. It was easier than I could have guessed, actually. So anyway, my friend started freaking out a little while later. So I just did the same to him. Yeah, it wasn't nice, but I stayed out of trouble, so... Of course, Luke could have asked for help whenever, but I just had to keep doing what I had been doing, and he kept quiet. Could have kept doing that endlessly. Then you guys showed up and undid the whole thing. You just do me letting him get back. What now? We can handle that. Just keep with us and you will be okay. -2 was kept in Foundation custody, while -3 was brought into Foundation custody under -2's behavior correction cover story. Interviewed -3, interviewer Dr. Dawkins. So before we begin, get that camera out of that demon's hands now. Dr. Dawkins pauses. We've already done that, so getting back on. And he won't get it back after this, right? Will you please stop interrupting? Of course he won't. He's been hugely irresponsible with it. That's all I need to hear, thanks. How can I help? Well, how did you find that camera? I didn't find it. You see, you won't be familiar with it, but I'm a part of this group called ACE-WCY, which stands for Are We Cool Yet? Interesting. Yeah, that. How'd you know what that means? Let's just say that's my job. Okay. So how'd you build it? I have no idea. I just built it and it just works. I mean, I know I'll need a normal camera and some other things and some tools, but... So then I put this together and then... So that they do this. Alright, so why did you just give it to your friend? Did you know what it could do? I trusted him. I trusted him and he went crazy. If it weren't for you guys, the whole world would be toast. We're told that a lot. Thank you for your time. End log. Closing statement. Before Dr. Dawkins left the room, -3 said the following. And by the way, in case you're curious, when he put me under blackmail, my photo didn't even have to change. It just printed me building that godforsaken camera because I regret it. I regret it and all the harm that I've caused and all the people that got hurt by him and everything. You guys sound like some global secret ops people. Do you guys need anything like white memories if needed? At least something to clean up this mess? Because I appreciate it. Additional interviews were conducted with -3 for possible leads as GOI Are We Cool Yet, but did not yield any significant information. All persons of interest and persons in the nearby area were administered Class A amnestics, except -3, who was administered Class C amnestics. -3's anartist tools and supplies were confiscated as well. Mission accomplished, end log. And this is why we need to take the GOI Are We Cool Yet group seriously, because they can cause harm with the simplest of things. Well, everyone, that's it for this week's document review. Thanks so much for listening or watching, and my name is Agent Paul of MTF Delta 7, codenamed Bookkeepers, and I'll see you next week with another document review. Bye.